Hey, good morning, everybody. The time is about 10 o'clock where I'm at in the U.S. Gold today, 1611. Silver, 3051. You know, so I'm not going to beat people up for not studying and not... I am going to warn you that you do need to study so that when you have dips, when you have, you know, dips in the market and whatnot, those are normal. Not having dips is what should be alarming, either in a good way or a bad way, I feel. So in other words, when we spiked at almost 50 bucks not too long ago, I was like, wow, am I ready? Am I really ready to pull the trigger on what I'm getting ready to do? It makes you make a decision, right? Either a positive one or a negative one in your own mind. And so I can say is if this is worrying you, then you need to study. That to me tells me you're probably not studying enough. So, you know, I have not been on air for a while, a little bit. I have been busy, been one of the slower months financially for us. But yet, you know, we still pop big days. So it's, you know, I'm just taking care of business. You know, taking care of business to me is taking care of my family. And been lazy a little bit, I think, you know, for me anyway. But we're, you know, we're continuing on. And we are looking for a shop for my son, so we're continuing on the physical side of his business. Once again, his website, smallengineadvicefordummies.com. And it's just, I put that out there to make sure that people know that I am genuine in that I will elaborate if you do send me a message on his business, how he got going. He's 17 years old. You guys, if you don't know the story, just go back through some of my videos and take a quick peek. What has been sticking in my craw is this, and I don't know if you can really see this. I don't know if the camera's going to really pick it up. But you're going to see some of my notes here, and they're real basic drawings and notes. So a guy was elaborating on the economy the other day to me, and I stopped him in his tracks because I want people to know. If I can give you a 1 minute or a 2 minute commercial and give you an overview on what I think is going on with the planet and the finances of our planet, I think it's important. And if I can, and if it's easy enough, like when you feed a baby, right? You know, you feed him baby food, right? You don't hand him a big baked potato and a steak, right? My camera keeps going in and out of focus, kind of bugging me. Anyway, so let's go over what I was going over. Let's go over this. Somewhere, somehow, the Fed comes up with cheap money. That money gets transferred to the banks. The banks get you know the wild hair going and saying, well, man, we're ready to make some loans. Look at all this cheap money, which leads to bonuses and Ferraris and I guess a bunch of other stuff that goes along with all that kind of lending. So you got the Fed, then it goes to the bank. Now the bank lends the money to the people. Now all those teaser rates, all those lack of lending standards, those malinvestments hit the people who and were buying homes artificially bid up. Why? Because the money was so cheap. Also, they couldn't afford it. They couldn't afford the home in the first place, which led to a subprime mess. Right? And I've got arrows going on all this. The arrows from one to the other. Okay. Then you've got these loans that are repackaged. So now all of a sudden you're these banks, Freddie and Fannie and all those cronies, and you've got all these banks, all these bank notes that you bundle together, slap a AAA rating on them, and then you send them all over the planet, right, through what's called derivatives. And so now you have countries holding these notes that aren't worth the paper they're printed on, man. So then you end up with massive, you know, these massive derivatives. The homeowner defaults. The bank fails. The government comes along and bails them out. Okay? Who pays for the bailouts? Ultimately, the taxpayer. Those same banks are repoing the homes. And the last I heard, I was listening to Tony Robbins the other night. I think I got these numbers right. 2 million people a month are losing their homes to some of these very same banks that have had bailouts. How does that work out? I mean, how on earth can we expect that to work out? I don't believe we can. I don't believe that it's gonna end pretty. I think it's gonna end very messy. I think that, you know, what's basically happening is a wealth transfer. They basically pick the properties up for pennies on the dollar, you know. So let me get this straight. So I can be a bank, go bankrupt, get bailed out by the taxpayer, and then I take the taxpayer's home when they can't make the payment. Wow. What a flippin' system, right? And that's, of course, not the word I want to use. The drop in silver, I mean, I'm not ready. First of all, I really got to be honest with you. I don't believe I'm mentally ready to do. If I was able to go buy 10 or 20 home properties today, I don't know that I'm ready to do that. I would if I had to. I would if I had to. All I can tell you guys is you need to keep studying up. Keep studying up, and you know, take a look at some of the people that I study, and then pick people that you like on YouTube. Find out who they study, and just go from there. Read Rich Dad Poor Dad, Kiyosaki, Mike Maloney, Why Silver, Why Gold. Go to those kinds of things. Now, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do a joke of the day. I'm going to substitute part of the joke because I don't want to be as graphic as the joke really is, and I'll let you guys fill in the blank. So three vampires go into a bar. The first vampire orders a blood straight up. The second vampire orders a blood on the rocks. The third vampire says, I have a cup of hot water. First two vampires look at the third vampire in an odd way and say, hey man, what's up with the hot water? He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a used Band-Aid and says, I'm making tea. I'll let you fill in the blank. Morgan SLV out.